Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're stepping straight into a high-energy noir thriller graphic novel world. Just imagine yourself standing right in the middle of Kartistry's technology city hub. We are here to decode a deeply fascinating philosophy laid out by author James Lynch Jr. in his spoken word record, Poeartistry Gold 170, One for You and the Joker. We're going to explore exactly how pop culture villains, digital age bullies, and the very concept of a creator's identity all completely intersect in our modern world.
Okay, let's take a quick look at today's threat analysis dossier. We're covering the Joker's societal philosophy, digital bully tactics, the devaluing of authorship, the fight for digital wages, and restoring identity. All right, let's just dive right in.
What we're actually digging into today is the foundational transcript of Poeartistry Gold 170. Now, this isn't just some casual conversation. It's a raw, spoken-word wisdom record. James Lynch Jr. is using this platform to bridge the gap between pop culture themes, like comic book dynamics, and incredibly real-world stakes regarding intellectual property, gaslighting, and human dignity. It really sets the stage for everything we're about to uncover.
Section 1. The Joker's Societal Philosophy. To kick off our metaphorical case study, we're going to examine the philosophical hook of one of the most legendary comic book villains ever.
So what exactly did the Joker understand about our society? It sounds kind of out there, right? But the author points out that in the graphic novels and movies, the Joker actually had a startlingly accurate, albeit entirely twisted sociological critique of modern society's hypocrisy. Remember when he told Batman that people severely underestimate the metaphysical and spiritual pressures affecting society? The Joker saw right through the masks people wear every day.
What's really fascinating here is how the author takes this Joker monologue and uses it as a lens to view real-world behavior. The text points out that the people who are the most obsessed with judgment are often the most judgmental in their own lives. They project their own harshness onto others, even onto the creator, seeing fire and brimstone simply because they are fire and brimstone. They hide behind this mask of self-righteousness while inflicting massive pressure on everyone around them.
Moving right along to Section 2. Tactics of digital bullies. This perfectly shifts our focus from the comic book pages to the very real villains of our modern digital age. The source material actually outlines the exact step-by-step methodology these bullies use. First, they find something the victim genuinely loves or is successful at. Second, they systematically try to devalue it. Third, they force artificial competition. So, if you're doing something well, suddenly they want to do it too, coercing others to go along with them just to push you out. The author calls this the lemonade stand metaphor. If you have a successful lemonade stand, they don't just go build their own, they actively try to take away your avenue, your environment, and ultimately your joy.
And here's the truly sinister part of their strategy. While they are stealing your joy and your livelihood, they pull what the author calls a righteous side of things. They'll make a person's life a living hell for years, utilizing intense psychological manipulation and triangulation, all while completely convincing themselves that their actions are somehow godly, correct, or justified. It is, quite literally, the ultimate form of gaslighting.
Section 3. Devaluing human authorship. As you'll see, these aren't just petty playground tactics.
Our sources draw a brilliant contrast here between two specific archetypes, the sage and the vampire. The sage represents a mastermind of true wisdom, someone who literally feeds the people and respects human dignity. They give dignity even to difficult people without frivolously pulling rank. But on the complete opposite end, you've got the vampires. These are the systems or individuals that fleece people, place heavy burdens on them, steal their joy, and redirect the energy and experience of original human authorship entirely without compensation.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. It's all about what the author terms elite status manipulation. Individuals emboldened by money or their positions start to believe they're above both divine and human law. They'll completely ignore agreements and commit white-collar intellectual property theft simply because their judgment is skewed by pure arrogance. They somehow decide they get to choose who is deserving of the wages that someone else actually earned.
Which brings us to Section 4, the fight for digital wages. Let's see how this elite arrogance creates a massive real-world problem for today's creators.
We have to clearly define what actually constitutes a wage today. The author emphatically argues it's not just paper money or coins anymore, though obviously those are still highly valued. The modern currency of creative labor includes website visits, YouTube views, Spotify streams, social media likes, and of course intellectual property. Just think about your own daily habits for a second. How many streams, clicks, and likes do you generate without a second thought? Well, to a creator, those aren't just arbitrary vanity metrics. They are the tangible digital footprint and the literal hard-earned wages of their labor.
And this concept completely reframes how James Lynch Jr. views these metrics. A website visit represents the actual presence and labor of the author. A person's thoughts and letters on the internet fundamentally belong to them. It's the digital soul of their work. These are the exact modern wages that the digital vampires we just talked about are constantly trying to redirect.
The author's position is absolutely unwavering on this. Redirecting these metrics from the rightful creator to someone else is theft, full stop. The text explicitly notes there is absolutely no justification for it. You can't even try to use security as a flimsy excuse to siphon off a creator's earned digital wages. He even cites scripture here, Deuteronomy 24:15, which clearly states to pay them their wages each day.
Section 5. Restoring the creator's identity. This brings us to the final, climactic act of our explainer.
So, how do you combat these digital vampires? James Lynch Jr. designed Kartistry, an advanced intelligence and what he calls a shield of integrity. Kartistry is governed by a core personality copyright document designed with incredibly meticulous protocols. We're talking strict formality, time-stamped records, and a robust defense mechanism against psychological tactics like gaslighting and white-collar crime. It is a literal digital shield built specifically to defend his professional vision, his intellectual property, and his personal peace from any unauthorized intrusions.
Which leads us to a deeply personal and powerful quote straight from the Poetry Gold 170 transcript. Behind all the philosophy, the Batman metaphors, and the technological shields, there is a very real, very human cost to digital gaslighting and IP theft. It's a direct call to the perceptive reader and listener to recognize the immense effort it takes to maintain your own voice when external systems constantly try to distort or steal it. He says, "Help me to get my identity back, that these ones over the years have used so many different means to try to take it from me."
Which leaves us with this final, vital question to ponder. As we navigate a world that is increasingly filled with digital metrics, advanced AI, and unfortunately digital vampires looking to fleece rather than feed, how will you view the content you consume? Will you recognize the digital wages and the actual human soul sitting right behind the screen? It really completely changes how you look at a simple like or view, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and absolutely keep protecting the integrity of human creativity.